This week's DRM Not Included on F5 Live is proudly powered by Amazon Prime. In addition to your free shipping, you get a whole lot more, including free music with Amazon Prime Music, free TV movies and documentaries with Amazon Prime Video, free games, and a free Twitch subscription to support the content creator of your choice with Amazon Prime Gaming. And a whole lot more. We have quick links to these features and more, a 30-day free trial if you're not already a subscriber, the ability to give it as a gift, and a lot more information, all by going to f5live.tv/prime. So, we know that Black Friday is coming. It'll be a topic coming up here soon for us, I would imagine. Probably on the Pilch point. But one of the things that has been hardest hit by the combination of shipping issues at ports in California and the chip shortages has been televisions. Televisions are also a big kind of staple product in Black Friday spending and Black Friday deals. But the price of televisions is up this year, an average of $100 per unit. Now, obviously, an average does not mean every television is up $100. Your $279 32-inch TV is not going to be up $100. But if it's up 50, that's a huge percentage, right? But if it's on a high-end TV, a $2,500, 8K 65-inch, $100 increase isn't going to be a big deal. What's that work out to? 4%, right? So more expensive TVs aren't seeing as much of a problem. Smaller TVs are. Obviously, there was a lot of concern. Would we see TVs for Black Friday? Would we see any TV deals through the holidays at all? The answer is yes, but the prices will be higher than what they likely would have been last year. Although we might see some of that start to come down now that Florida has gotten into trying to help California out of their port issues. We've had our first ships show up here at the Port of Tampa, I think Friday. So maybe we'll see some inventory issues clear up with that, but we still have chip shortages. So this is going to be not just in televisions, but this is one of the core products that's being, affected.
So here's the thing. And I say this because now I have to live this for like the next month or so because we spend so much of our time in November writing about deals. It is something that we and all of our colleagues have to spend a lot of time on. There will always be deals, but the question is it actually a good deal? Right. So the price of something will go up, and then maybe they'll drop it down a tiny bit.
Right.
And so they will market that as a deal, but it may be more expensive than it was 6 months ago, even with the deal, or more expensive than it was a year ago, even with the deal. So that's something to keep in mind. There will be deals that may lead to you getting a television cheaper than it was the week before, but maybe not even. It may be that they've raised the price for a few days. So of course I recommend price history tools like the Canalizer,
right,
which is a good one for tracking prices on Amazon. But yet another product category where the price of things is going to go up. Right. There's shipping issues. And look, we are still in a global pandemic. Therefore, things are going to be affected. Plus, the demand for chips has gotten higher and higher. I saw a story the other day. I think it was the head of Taiwan Semiconductor, TSMC, who said that they would be chasing supply, that they expect chip manufacturers to be chasing supply, not demand. In other words, there would be more demand than supply of chips
Right.
for 5 to 10 years. So
Woof.
now, it all depends on what type of chips we're talking about, but
Sure.
there's chips in everything. There's chips in your TV, and there's chips in your car, and there's chips in everything. So
Yeah.
uh,
If you watched our Roboticon coverage, the little light that we had with the logo on our desk, there's chips in that.
right. So it calls attention to the fact that we need more, local production
Yeah.
of chips. I mean, speaking for the United States perspective, we need more chip manufacturing here, and there's been some attempt to do that, although it's not coming online overnight. And then, the shipping issues, I feel like those will be resolved long before the manufacturing issues.
For sure.
Uh,
Especially
also,
now that stuff is being diverted to Florida,
yeah.
as a bi-directional, solution to the problem. I think that's going to help a ton.
Also keep in mind that I don't. How many years away are we from self-driving trucks?
True.
I don't know. I mean, it's probably not that close, but on the other hand,
Depends on whether you're basing it on the video that Nicola launched, or the reality of the fact that the truck was actually just heading downhill.
yeah, I mean, it's just
One of
my
my
understanding
favorite
from reading
stories
about
from the
these
last
things.
year.
I end up periodically reading things about self-driving cars, and they're always so bullish about, like, next year it's all going to be self-driving cars. They're like so bullish about it, and the stuff that I see is always like the first sector to be taken over is going to be trucking. I mean, what they're always saying is, like, shipping is going to be shipping is going to become is going to become automated drivers before individual drivers are going to give up their cars.
Sure.
So, although, or give up driving their cars, I should say. So, I mean, anyway, that's neither here nor there. I think the bottom line is, yes, TV prices will be a bit higher. However, look, perhaps folks will also have saved some money on by not spending it on other things, depending on what their stance was during pandemic times. Like, maybe they weren't going to the movies as much.
Sure.
Maybe they weren't going to restaurants as much. So maybe that money that they didn't spend on restaurants, and they didn't spend on the movies, and they didn't spend on vacation,
They
maybe they
didn't
can
spend on
afford to
hoarding
put
toilet
another.
paper.
Well, you're always going to need the toilet paper. I mean, eventually you'll need the toilet paper, right? But maybe they can afford the TV. I mean, this is not to say that we don't want things to get cheaper than they were,
Right.
and it isn't kind of embarrassing to when you look and say, hey, wait, I'm paying more than it cost at one time. But you know what? When you buy any product, you're buying time with it, right? And life is only so long. So
True
if
enough.
you buy an OLED TV today, and then it's $100 cheaper 3 months from now, or it was $100 cheaper 3 months ago and you missed it, you're still getting that time to enjoy that product.
True.
So, you know what? Enjoy, like, don't be frivolous, but if something can change your experience, then do it. Like,
Enjoy it.
last week I saw Dune. Have you seen Dune yet?
I haven't.
So I think you and I've had discussions about, like, the death of movie theaters and what
Yeah.
streaming has meant to, like, things like Black Widow, where it kind of got hurt by streaming. And Dune actually was somewhat exceptional in that it did enough box office in the first weekend, despite being on HBO Max, that they commissioned the sequel, which is good because it's only the
Right.
first half of the book. But I'm very skeptical when directors say things like, "Oh, this is meant to be experienced on the big screen," because nobody ever admits that they're nobody ever wants to admit, oh, this is just fine on your TV. It's just okay on your phone. But you know what? This movie looks really good. Like it's got some really epic landscapes and really epic looking stuff. And I could totally see why somebody would want to see this on a big screen. So, you know what? If you can go spend if you have to spend an extra $100 more than you might have to get yourself a really nice TV so that you can watch Dune on it and the next things that come after Dune, right? Then it's worth it.
You could also just
Also
sit closer to the
because
television.
I suppose, but I'm also talking about the color quality too, right?
I know.
Right, like right, like I watched it on. I'm not a big spender on TV, so my family and I we have like a 39-inch TV. It's not, it's 1080p and it is definitely not high quality color. And because we were never like, oh, we don't want to spend good money on this. Now we've talked about like, yeah, it might be time to get a larger television, like 50, 55 inches, get something that has 4K and has like better quality color. Sure. Maybe not OLED because OLED is so expensive, but like, maybe one of those other quantum dot or something. Like, I get it why people would want to see something like Dune on a nice TV. So, you know what? If spending that extra $100, well, it's more than $100 in total, but spending a little bit more now,
right?
And consider that it would have probably cost, if you had a family of 5, probably would have cost you around $100 to go see Dune in the movie theater anyway. Like, do it so you can enjoy some of these films that are coming out, like Dune, that really do look nice on a better TV, I'm sure. So anyway, maybe having a good TV is a good investment.
Adam mentioned in the chat, he says people didn't want to watch Lord of the Rings in theater. The high frame rate Lord of the Rings in theaters. In fact, most theaters stopped supporting it. But watching it on a modern television is incredible. So sometimes, depending on what the technology is, sometimes watching it at home is a better experience in the theater anyway. So,
yes. I mean, there's a lot of other reasons why watching it at home is a better experience.
For sure. There's no sticky floors and popcorn's not $18.
Go way beyond, if you have children. I mean, there's so many other factors, right? So, yes. And multiplexes do not necessarily have wonderful projection and audio systems anyway. True. So, so anyway, long story short, yes, TVs will cost more. You will still be able to find okay prices on them. And I recommend that if you don't have a decent TV, it might be a good investment, because if you're really getting good use out of it, you know what? Enjoy it now, because there's always with electronics, you can always wait. Things will always get cheaper. Things will always get better. Although TVs aren't getting appreciably better year to year.
True. Well, the point of the topic wasn't to do this, but coming up soon, you'll definitely want to keep track of Tom's Hardware and its sister sites.
Yes.
For deals.
Yes. So we don't do a lot of TV coverage. So Tom's Guide, our sister site, or Tech Radar, our sister site, will definitely already has good deals listed on TVs. We are more so have deals listed on monitors, which you could use as a TV to watch things. You could buy a nice, beautiful 4K monitor and sit not that far from it and watch Dune in your web browser.
See, being closer.
But whatever you do, you got to watch Dune, because it looks fantastic.
Okay, I've got a nice 4K TV right off camera here, so we'll do that. Oh my goodness. Hello, YouTube. Thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this episode of F5 Live Refreshing Technology. If you did, please subscribe to the channel down below, and of course hit the notification bell because we know that subscriptions don't mean much on YouTube anymore. If you've got topics that you'd like us to talk about in the future, please comment them down below. And if you'd like to not follow us on YouTube, there's lots of ways that you can follow along with our content by going to plughitslive.com/subscribe. There you'll see all of our shows and all of the ways that you can watch, listen, and follow along.